The funniest thing about Meghan Markle's deranged display in Montecito over the weekend with Ted Sarandos, the Netflix boss, is that she hasn't realized yet. You're the one being played, Meghan. Your business partnership is collapsing. Your cooking show was cancelled. Your brand lost its backer, and yet you're showing up at the man's house, grabbing his wife's hand, and posing for Getty Images like everything is fine. That takes a very specific kind of audacity, and nobody does audacity like Meghan Markle. They made sure that Carey Mulligan did not arrive until Meghan had left. And she didn't want to leave. She was making everybody's life miserable because she wanted to be present, because she's the Duchess. But no, she's lost big time. That's how far Meghan Markle's status has fallen. She was effectively pushed out, and Prince Harry was embarrassed, apologizing again for his wife's lack of sensitivity, her refusal to listen, or even follow a simple dress code. She is clearly very worried, nervous. She's on the back foot. She knows Netflix is moving on, and she's panicking. They know the gravy train is ending, and they're doing anything possible to gain attention. There were 44 official photos from one event, and Meghan Markle appears only in individual pairings with exactly 2 people. Not Don Johnson, not Michael Keaton, not Carey Mulligan, the actual star of the night, just the Netflix CEO and his wife. None of this was a good look. It looked truly unhinged. We know what she was trying to do here. The problem is, it changes nothing. The real story from the Beef Season 2 screening at Ted Sarandos' Montecito home wasn't the dress, the rare joint appearance, or the headlines. It was the photo record. 44 frames, credited to Stephanie Keenan of Getty Images for Netflix. And the A-list guest list read like a who's who of people who, apparently, had nothing to say to the Duchess of Sussex. Does she not care about her reputation? Or does she believe the title Duchess of Sussex can withstand anything? That title has already been devalued. Completely. Here's the thing about official Netflix PR photos. They're not accidents. Stephanie Keenan is one of the most experienced entertainment photographers in Los Angeles. She shoots premieres and Oscar parties. She doesn't miss headline guests standing next to Michael Keaton. If a pairing exists, it ends up on Getty. If it doesn't, it usually means it never happened, or someone made sure it didn't leave the room. This wasn't a win. Yet Meghan Markle and her supporters are framing it that way. In reality, it only made her look desperate, clinging to Nicole Avant for visibility. And before anyone says this is a stretch, consider this. The upstaging narrative assumes Meghan was even present with the major guests long enough to upstage anyone. The photo record says she wasn't. She was photographed with the host's wife, and briefly in a group shot, and that's it. In Hollywood, the official photo drop is effectively the guest list the next day. Now here's the detail that makes this even more interesting. 2 weeks before this party, Carey Mulligan walked into Windsor Castle and received a CBE from King Charles III, a major career milestone. Her husband, Marcus Mumford, stood beside her. Then, just 14 days later, Meghan Markle shows up at a Netflix event wearing the same color as the actual star, pulling focus in the exact way critics say she always does. Meanwhile, guests included Don Johnson, Michael Keaton, John Corbett, Nick Kroll, Oscar Isaac, Charles Melton, Orlando Bloom, Justin Trudeau, Katy Perry, Lee Sung-jin, and Carey Mulligan, the true headliner of Beef Season 2. Not a single one of them appears in an individual photo with Meghan Markle. Think about that. Don Johnson, a Miami Vice legend. Michael Keaton, Batman, Beetlejuice, and a 2-time Oscar nominee. Carey Mulligan, the actual star of the event. These are not people unfamiliar with Meghan. They were all in the same space, attending the same event. And yet, the record shows none of them stood beside her long enough for a single meaningful photo. That's not Meghan upstaging, that's Meghan orbiting. 2 very different narratives. At this point, it looks like a calculated PR move. Netflix may not need them for content anymore, but they can still extract publicity from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Because right now, things are clearly not going well for them in Hollywood, and the future looks increasingly uncertain. The one photo that did dominate coverage? The hug with Nicole Avant. But even that didn't land as intended. Judy James, a well-known body language expert, described Meghan's behavior as exaggerated attachment gestures. She noted that while Ted Sarandos and Nicole Avant leaned naturally toward each other, Meghan appeared to lean into Nicole in a way that separated her from Harry. Even more striking, James suggested the couple's pose made it look as though Meghan was almost photobombing their moment. Photobombing. That's the word a Daily Mail body language analyst used about a duchess attending an event she was invited to. Not integrated. Not central. Photobombing her own hosts. And remember, the whole reason Meghan Markle was at that event in the first place was damage control. Because the relationship is already collapsing. The idea that Meghan thinks people will ignore months of detailed reporting in favor of a few staged photos just shows how much she underestimates the audience. This has been reported on for months. And now it's been confirmed by Variety, the Hollywood industry Bible. That alone shows she takes people for fools. And that's the real problem. Just 24 days earlier, on March 17th, Variety published one of the most damaging reports the Sussex brand has faced since the Spotify collapse. Matt Donnelly's investigation cited 6 sources inside Netflix. One of them said, and this is a direct quote, "We're done." 3 insiders claimed that Ted Sarandos himself is fed up with the couple. Maybe that's too harsh. Maybe they're friends now. After all those smiles and that public display? Did Ted Sarandos follow her on Instagram? Of course not. In the same report, UTA CEO Jeremy Zimmer was quoted saying, "Turns out Meghan Markle was not a great audio talent, or necessarily any kind of talent." That quote originally came from Cannes 2023, but Variety brought it back in March 2026, because it still applies. Now here's why that hug matters. Meghan Markle didn't go to Ted Sarandos' home to celebrate Beef Season 2. She went because 6 Variety sources had just labeled her biggest Hollywood relationship as radioactive, and she needed one photo to prove otherwise. This isn't new behavior. Back in July 2018, at Prince Louis' christening, the royal family wore cream, white, and soft blue, while Meghan showed up in olive green, the only standout color. Different event. Same pattern. She has never met a room she didn't try to make about herself. The goal here was simple. One photo. But even her own body language analyst described the result as exaggerated attachment and, again, photobombing. That's not damage control. That's confirmation of the damage. Then there's the dress. Every outlet focused on the same angle, the Chartreuse dress by Heidi Merrick. But they missed the bigger point. Carey Mulligan wore the same color. Same event. Same palette. Same spotlight. And suddenly, the narrative flips. Carey Mulligan is a 3-time Oscar nominee. She was the featured star of the night. She was photographed with the show's creator, speaking with Oscar Isaac, and appearing alongside Kelly Speeney. Meanwhile, Meghan Markle, same color dress, ends up with a hug with Nicole Avant and a caption describing her as a photobomber. That's the only image that truly stuck. Look closer at the earlier photos. Everyone else is dressed in black and white. The star hadn't even arrived yet. Carey Mulligan came later. And by then, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were reportedly asked to leave. Now here's the interesting part. Heidi Merrick, the designer Meghan wore, is Montecito-based. And Meghan has worn her designs before. This wasn't random. It was deliberate. A calculated outfit. A calculated appearance. A calculated PR moment. Her team knew Carey Mulligan would be there. They knew the guest list. They knew the photographer. And yet, the outcome? A dress that resulted in just 2 press-approved pairings, with the host and his wife, and nothing else. The upstaging narrative only works if you assume Meghan was competing with A-listers. But the reality is worse. She wasn't competing. She was trying to survive in a room that had already moved on from her. Don Johnson didn't need to compete. Michael Keaton didn't need to compete. Carey Mulligan was the reason the event existed. Meghan Markle wasn't being upstaged. She was being politely ignored. And when it reached the point where she was reportedly asked to leave, that says everything. She appeared visibly upset when leaving. No smile. No composure. This wasn't a victory moment. It was a collapse. Even projects like Meet Me at the Lake, once considered promising, have stalled. Something that would have been trivial for Ted Sarandos to fund never materialized. And then comes the bigger confirmation. Netflix is effectively done with the Sussex brand. The photo record only makes sense when you look at the actual performance data. With Love, Meghan Season 1 ranked 383rd on Netflix in early 2025 to Season 2 dropped to 1,217th. That's not decline, that's invisibility. Then there's Polo, 2024, centered around Prince Harry's favorite sport. It managed just 1.1 million views. For comparison, Netflix hits regularly reach 30 to 50 million. Live to lead. Around 700,000 views in 6 months. Heart of Invictus? Roughly 300,000. The pattern is clear. The attention they generate is mostly negative, and Netflix knows it. In January 2026, Page 6 reported that with Love, Meghan would not return as a full series. A Sussex spokesperson rebranded that as seasonal specials. Same meaning. Softer wording. That's classic damage control. Then there's the As Ever brand. On March 6, 2026, Netflix formally exited its investment. Why? Because the products didn't sell. Reports suggest over $10 million worth of unsold inventory, some of it reportedly handed out to Netflix employees for free. Think about that. A royal-branded lifestyle line, being given away in office lobbies. Netflix took the loss and walked away. This is the context most people are ignoring. That beef event didn't happen in isolation. It happened 24 days after the Variety expose, 4 days after Netflix exited As Ever. The same day a legal case involving Prince Harry surfaced in the UK High Court. Multiple PR crises, on the same timeline. And the best image they could produce? A hug that even a sympathetic analyst described as exaggerated. If that's the win photo, you can only imagine how bad the rest looked. Fire. Which might explain why so few of them made the cut. At what point does King Charles III stop interfering, defending, promoting, and protecting these two? Because people don't seem to understand that there is still a connection there. King Charles III is always in the background. He hasn't given up on his darling boy returning to the United Kingdom. And if he can't bring him back yet, he's going to make sure Prince Harry is at least seen in Hollywood, so he doesn't lose face. And perhaps, in doing so, he's also trying to protect Meghan Markle, especially after that Variety report came out. Here's the honest bottom line. Nobody handed me court documents proving that Meghan Markle was ignored at a Montecito garden party. I don't have a signed affidavit from Michael Keaton. None of us were in that garden. We're all working from the same public material. The 44-photo Getty Images drop. The Variety Insider report. The Judy James body language column. The ranking data. And the widely published guest list. But when you lay it all out, the pattern becomes difficult to ignore. First, 44 official photos exist from that night. Meghan Markle appears in individual pairings with only 2 people, both from Netflix. Second, the guest list included at least 6 globally recognized A-listers. Not a single one appears in an individual photo with her in the press-distributed record. Third, the one image her team seemed to rely on, the hug with Nicole Levant, was described as photobombing and exaggerated attachment by a Daily Mail body language expert within hours. Fourth, Netflix's chief content officer, Bela Bajaria, went on record saying, "Don't believe everything you read, there's no juicy story here." Fair enough. But when 6 insiders tell a Variety journalist, "We're done," a press statement doesn't override that. It just sits alongside it. Fifth, on the day this all unfolded, the headlines focused on Meghan Markle's chartreuse dress, but the real story was in the 44 photos. The tabloids pushed the distraction. The photo record told the truth. She didn't upstage anyone at Ted Sarandos' home. She didn't need to. The room upstaged her, by simply not standing next to her. And the photographer, one of the best in the industry, filed 44 images that clearly showed which relationships in that garden were genuine, and which ones were manufactured for optics. When the only people willing to be photographed with you are the hosts of the party, you haven't attended an event, you've attended an audition. And the callback never came. Here's what happens next. Within roughly 72 hours, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are expected to land in Melbourne for their first Australian visit since 2018. No children. Commercial ticket prices reportedly reaching up to $3,199 A Change.org petition opposing taxpayer-funded security has already gathered over 43,000 signatures. And somewhere within that trip, there will be a moment, one that could define the next 6 months of this story. A moment involving the one institution the Sussexes cannot control, cannot spin, and cannot litigate against: the royal family itself. Because this story isn't over. Not even close. This is Brit Leaks, where the frame doesn't lie. Fire.